Hey there, Bob here with JD Squared. Thanks for tuning in. And welcome to episode 7 of our GCmaker tutorial series. Now, this isn't actually going to show you no new features. It's more of an update that I made last night. In the previous video, episode 6, we were talking about arrays. I mentioned that there's a couple of things that maybe I should add to the program. Well, I went ahead and did it that night, and I'm going to show you those updates because they're going to kind of carry forward from now on. I think you're going to like them. So anyway, sit back and let me show you the fruit of my efforts. Let's start off with the two simple changes I made. One of them has to do with how we create a circular array. Let's go over to modeling, create a circular array, just like we did at episode 6, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and pick what I want to rotate this array about. And I'm going to pick a feature or axis from the design tree. So let's go over here and pick hole 1. Notice it placed a blue horizontal axis. That's what we're going to rotate about. It also added that axis right over here in the design tree. Now, if I don't want to see the axis, I just click the eyeball, it'll go away. Now, let's go ahead, go back to circular array. Let's add an item. We're going to double click on rectangle, close, and there's our array. You notice anything different from episode 6? In episode 6, it did this. It actually rotated the individual items as it rotated them about that axis. So here it was 0 degrees. Here it rotated 90. What I've done now is giving you the choice right here, rotate features, where you can unclick it and the features will be arrayed around the axis, but they won't be rotated. That was the first change I made. The second one in episode 6, I noticed that I wanted to delete all these items, features, and I had to right click on each one and hit delete. And that got a little bit old. So now you could right click on features, delete all features. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to do that? And you say, yeah. And those were the two very simple changes I made. Now, the next update I made, a little bit more involved. Now, this is a relatively major change that I've made to how you place features on a part. Basically, the way we did it before, let me go ahead and show you that. Let's go to Modeling, Features, Hole. And we're in what we call absolute mode. I'm going to go ahead and change the hole diameter to 0.5. And we are absolutely in relation to the origin of the part at 0, 0. Let's go ahead and move it up to 5 inches on the X and 5 inches on the Y. So from the origin of the part, we are X5 and Y5. This is your mode button right here. Notice that we have an A. That stands for absolute mode. We are absolutely moving to X2, Y2. Now, notice we have an origin comment over here, and we have a distance and an angle. These are relative or basically necessary for the two new modes that I've added. Let's go ahead and look at the first one of the two. Now we're going to talk about the next mode, which is relative mode. And what that means is whatever origin we have set for this placement instance, in other words, that row, we are going to move relative from that origin the distance specified in X and Y. Let me show you that. Let's go to relative mode. First of all, you didn't see anything change. Why? Because the origin is still set over here. Now, the way I can change that origin is go over here to the origin column and click on the origin button. It'll bring up the origin selection, and you can see we are fixed at X0, Y0. This is part coordinates. It is not anything relative or anything. It is the absolute coordinate on the part. Right now it's set at 0, 0. Let's go ahead and change it to 2, and then we're going to change Y to 4. Okay, and we're going to apply it. Now, it just set the origin right there. But remember, I don't know if you noticed, X was set at 5, Y was set at 5. Now X is 3 and Y is 1. And I can show you why that is. And what happened is when we move the origin for just this row right here, it recalculated the position of the hole because it doesn't move the hole. It just recalculates the position. Now that we're in relative mode, let's just say I wanted the hole right here, 1 inch over on X, 1 inch up on Y. I could just come over here to X, say 1 inch. Now, relative to this origin, we are up 1 inch and to the right 1 inch. That basically is the definition of relative mode. Let's click on the origin button again, bring up our origin selection window, and we were fixed at this point right here, right? Now let's go ahead and change it. We're going to go to the next option. There's 3 of them. We're going to go to pick on the point on the part. Let's click the pick button, and now we're in selection mode. I want to be relative from this corner. So I select that. Notice it put the yellow sphere there. That is our new origin for this particular placement. And by the way, if I add, let me zoom out a little bit. I add another hole, which is right here, right? This origin is only specific. In fact, you don't even see it now, right? Because I'm not on that row. If I go to that row, there it is. This origin is only specific to this particular row right here. Notice what it did, just like before. It didn't move the hole. It recalculated and say that from this origin, you are minus 7 inches and you're up on the Y 5 inches. So that's how you would pick a point. And then if I wanted to move it over to minus 2 inches and then maybe up 2 inches, there you go. So that is how to set the origin on the part. Now, for the third and final way to set an origin, we're going to need another feature. So let's go ahead. Modeling, feature, we'll add a hole. 1 inch hole is fine. Let's move it up to 3.3. There you go. Now, if I come over here, go back to our original hole, this one right here, we are relative currently to this right here. You could see the yellow sphere. Let's go ahead and say origin, but this time, instead of being on the part, we're going to select feature or axis from the design tree. Pick it, and we're going to pick this hole here, which is this one. There you go. Now, you can kind of see what it did. Remember, this is the hole right here. This is the placement because it's orange. If I click on this one's orange. It recalculated that from this placement, our hole is currently minus Y1 or Y minus 1 and X5. So that's how you could do that. So if I wanted to say, hey, from this hole here, I want to be over 4 and up 6, let's just go 4, 6, and there you go. Okay, so that's your 3 ways to set the origin. They all have their uses depending on what you're doing in the model. Now, let me go ahead and show you the third and final mode. This mode will be called polar mode. I'm going to go ahead and delete all the features just to get them out of here, make a nice clean part. And we're going to go ahead and use the example that I was talking about in episode 6. Let's go ahead, create a hole. This time, we're going to call it a 1/2 inch hole again. And we're going to, right now it's in absolute mode, right? We are going to go ahead and go to polar mode. Now, when I do that, notice that the X and the Y are grayed out because they are no longer editable, but they will show you the location of the hole. Let's go ahead, go to origin. This time we're going to pick a feature or axis from the design tree. I can still use all of these settings here, just like we did before, but for this example, we're going to go to feature. We're going to go to point on a part, pick it, and we're going to pick this corner. That's what we did in episode 6, all right? Now, if you look right here, remember this flat shape is 10 inches wide. It is now telling us that the distance is 10 inches from this point, 270 degrees, which would be this way, because 0 is up here, 90 is this way, 180, 270. So we start 0 and we go around that point 360 degrees. Now, what I can do in the other example, we were going to create an array, 4 holes right here that we wanted to pivot around this point right here. So let's go ahead, change this to 4 inches, and we're going to change the angle to 280. That's where we want to be. That is the idea of polar coordinates. Take the origin and then move off a certain distance in a certain direction, referenced by degree. Let's go ahead and finish what we started in episode 6 by creating a circular array right here. Let's go ahead and we're going to pick our axis. Or do I got a selected axis? Pick an axis or feature. I think we're going to need to create an axis first. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Let's go to axis right here. And we go to this axis. And we are going to point on a plane. We're going to move it to, pick it in the view. We're going to move it to right there. Okay, so now axis 1 is set on that corner. Now let's go back to our array. And we are set at axis 1, or I could just say pick it, and I'll pick it right there, axis 1. Now, we wanted 4 items rotated through 70 degrees right here. So we'll do that. And we want to go clockwise. Well, let's go ahead and pick our hole 1, double click on it, close. There you go. That's exactly what we tried to do in episode 6. By adding the polar placement mode, I was able to do this very, very easy. Now, if I don't want to see the axis, just hit the eyeball and turn it off. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the new placement enhancements that I've made. The final change I made to the program was really one just to illustrate a particular point. If we go back to hole 1, right over here, I've added this drawing, this illustration, showing you what chordal tolerance is. The best way to demonstrate that is, let's just go ahead and segment a hole. So I'm going to go ahead, modeling, feature, we're going to create a hole. We're going to create a big hole this time, maybe 3 inches. We're going to move it over to 5 and 5. So there we go. Now, if I was to segment this like I showed you in previous episodes, there's your segments right there. It has a chordal tolerance of 0.02 of an inch. What that means is, on the circumference right here, each segment is this black line. The chordal tolerance is the red line. So if I was to change this to a larger number, let's just say 20 thousandths, you could see that it's much, much larger. So really, I just added an illustration so you could better understand what chordal tolerance is. Okay, I believe that brings us to the end of this video. And as usual, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope it was enjoyable and you learned something, and I hope you like the new updates. The next episode is going to be the macro, talk about macros. Then right after that, we're going to do the sketching episode. And then we are diving right heavy into manufacturing, where we'll be cutting the angle iron, the I-beam, etc. So I hope to see you, or I hope you tune in for those episodes. And once again, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.